Savita, how can a gender perspective enhance atrocity prevention?
So, including a gender perspective in atrocity prevention just helps us protect different kinds of populations by using different strategies. So, we always say in this field that the experience of every person is different of an atrocity crime. And in that context, the experience that men, women, girls, boys, other genders, LGBTQI, all their experiences are different. And if we take those experiences into account, if we see that how they are targeted or how violence is perpetrated against different genders, then we can create better prevention and protection strategies. And that is the reason it's so important to have not only a perspective of what women go through, but all genders, what they go through in an atrocity situation. And if we have that perspective, then we can prevent them better, but we can also protect these people better. So the biggest obstacles is that we do not incorporate gender perspectives in policy making. We know what to do. We have done a lot of learning since the Rwandan genocide, since the genocide in Srebrenica, the crisis in Balkan, of how to think in terms of what are the best ways of incorporating gendered points of views, or not only in prevention and protection strategies, but also in terms of justice and accountability. But what we have not done is that we don't actually listen to people on the ground. Women on the ground, marginalized communities on the ground, people who are sexually marginalized, all of these are not only people who against whom atrocities are committed, but are often actors who provide early warning, who are the first responders within their communities. In the aftermath of atrocities, these are the people who influence and bring about change, heal their communities. But these are also the people who are heard last within policy discussions in New York or in Geneva or in the big capitals. And that is what we want to do. That is what needs to change. That is the biggest obstacle. Because policies should not be made by people who are not living a particular realities. Policies should be made for people, by the people.
How does a gender approach to genocide prevention differ from the women, peace and security approach?
So I wouldn't say that they're different. I would say they complement each other, because the WPS agenda was created to protect women better, increase their participation in peace and security conversations, because women have been traditionally missing from peace processes, from big government decisions. So the idea from the WPS agenda was to increase participation, provide better protection for women, and also prevention. Of course, always prevention from sexual-based gender violence, but other kinds of things too, from discrimination. And so WPS as an agenda complements atrocity prevention, and a proper atrocity prevention as an agenda complements WPS. So they're not distinct, they're different ways in which we look at what's happening in our society. Atrocity prevention agenda looks at the world from a lens of whether there is a risk or possibility of atrocity crimes being committed. And here we don't only talk in terms of genocide, but we also talk in terms of war crimes, crimes against humanity, and ethnic cleansing. So you're consistently looking at that world from that lens. And when you add the WPS discussions into that lens, what you do is that you bring in women's perspective, you bring in their participation, not only in the prevention of atrocity crimes, but also to rebuild societies after atrocity crimes are over, because women are such a big part and such a big influence on that.